Welcome to Knockhill Racing Circuit for the Scottish Legends Car Championship for the David Leslie Super Touring Car Festival. Over to you, Duncan, for Race 1 commentary.
Thank you very much, Fiona Wallace, and here we are at Knockhill today. The Legends are on their formation lap going around the circuit, chasing the BMW, and on pole position is going to be Mark French. Mark French draws number 1 alongside Michael Paxton. We've then got John Crutchlow, we've got David Hunter, Colm O'Sullivan, John Patterson. We're going to have to keep our eyes further back in the pack because we've got Ben Mason, who's really revved up for it this weekend. Ben Mason will be a fast man, and also Stuart Black. But starting all the way down at the back of the grid, we have got Ivor Greenwood as well. And Ivor is a man on a bit of a mission this year as everybody comes through Clark Corner. Following the pace car, we've got Rally Dave in there as well, David Newell, number 60. And there's Ivor Greenwood, white 37, and he is at the back of the grid alongside, well, right at the very back, we've actually got, we should mention Stephen McGill, but keep your eyes on Ivor. And Ben Mason as well. Ben Mason has been very, very quick throughout the course of familiarisation and at the last meeting as well. So it's Michael Paxton, who we're on board with just now. The Burnett Motorsport driver, Michael, who's getting him faster every time he steps into Legend. He really is blossoming and learning every time he goes. So let's see how he gets on at the start here. Will he be able to lead his first Legend race? And let's see how he gets on with this one. As we come through, the pace car lights are already off, so the pace car should accelerate away and pull down the tri-oval as it does. And we are now coming up in a controlled manner towards the Knockhill start-finish line. No overtaking until everybody crosses the line, and wait till the lights go out. Nice controlled start here. Everybody behaving themselves as they make their way up towards it. Listen to the revs as they start to creep up. And we're racing here at Knockhill as we all stream down towards Duffus Dip for the first time of asking. And it's Paxton who leads as they get over the crest of Duffus. And it's David Hunter who's got himself into second place ahead of wee Pat, David Newell. And side by side that looks at Crutchlow and Mason as they all file through. Jordan Hodgson and Colm O'Sullivan, Duncan Vincent trying to go around outside O'Sullivan as well. And he doesn't make that before they get to the chicane, but Paxton leads, and he's got a lovely little comfortable buffer as he makes his way up that back straight towards Clark Corner. Through Clark's the all stream, everybody behaving themselves. Ivor Greenwood's had a cracking start, as has Stephen McGill. Palazzo though, Pino Palazzo looks like he's dropped back down the field. So unfortunately going the wrong way at the start. As into the hairpin comes our race leader. And a beautiful sight there, well, a beautiful sight almost for Michael Paxton until David Hunter slides the Cresta Racing number 6 car up the inside and across the nose of him. And it looks like we're maybe now 2 or 3 wide behind them, because is that David Newell and John Patterson? It is, as they go across the crest of the hill and in towards Duffus Dip. Paxton fights back on the inside and retakes the lead, does he? We hold our breath till the camera changes view. And it's taken a long time as we come in towards McIntyre's. Yes, Michael Paxton back at the front in that number 5 car. As he goes down Butchers and up to the chicane, a snaking trail of legends lie in his wake just now as John Patterson, wee Pat, reigning champion, looks at the inside of David Hunter. Oh, and there's almost contact there with Rally Dave and wee Pat. Wee Pat moving across in the braking zone and just almost getting into the side of David Newell. As we head round towards the hairpin, clicking off another lap. Mark French at the back of the pack now. As we go onto the brakes, we see Ryan McLeish on the inside of that. Stuart Black, we can see in the light blue car as well. As everybody comes through the hairpin and makes their way up. Oh, there's a spinner further back round. Somebody got spun round there and is facing the wrong way. There's somebody also off onto the inside as well. As everybody makes their way up the main straight and carries on. Palazzo pulls out to try and go past Michael Paxton, having to do anything he can to hold on to the lead of this just now as wee Pat gets himself up into second place, and David Newell trying to go around outside. Oh, Newell locks up a wheel there, and has he run wide? Yes, he has. There he is. He's in the gravel trap. So Rally Dave doing a bit of rally driving as he goes through the gravel trap, and he joins on behind Jordan Hodgson as Colm O'Sullivan looks like he's maybe in a bit of problems and bother there. Maybe caught up at the hairpin with one of those cars that got turned around. As everybody streams through Clark Corner there, Stephen McGill a little bit on his own just now, the white car with the orange flashes, as Michael Paxton still leads the way in towards the hairpin. He's not defending on the inside, he feels comfortable. Nope, John Patterson, wee Pat, reigning champion number 1 up the inside, and somebody else was hovering about there. Good Lord, that's Ivor Greenwood. Where has he come from? Ivor Greenwood from the back of the pack. Burnett 1, 2, 3 as they go over the crest of the hill in Cresta Racing. David Hunter in 4th place just now. And Ivor Greenwood has come from nowhere, and that's Ryan McLeish also having a big look at David Hunter there. Hunter really having to go some over the top of Duffus, and that car was well sideways, but beautifully controlled by the driver number 6 along the inside. McLeish looks like he's got it, but he's going to have to back out of that. He was barely alongside David Hunter as John Patterson now stretches away at the front in towards Clark Corner. Big puff of smoke out the back of his Legend, and it bounces into view sideways. And Wee Pat's put the hammer down now. He's starting to stretch this leading pack out. He's got about a half second over Ivor Greenwood, and turn Greenwood has a half second over Paxton. They're all fanning out behind Michael Paxton as we see on board with Greenwood looking back. Paxton rushes into the inside on the brake, side by side the two Cresta racing cars. No, it's not the two Cresta cars. Sorry, that's Ryan McLeish having a go at David Hunter there. So we need to get that one better visualised. There's Ben Mason. We warned you about Ben Mason in the build-up. Ben Mason a pop out and a little look there. And there's Stephen McGill coming through now. So this is one very, very fast freight train of legends at the front as they all make their way over the crest of the hill and in towards McIntyre's. David Newell on the comeback drive right now behind Stuart Black, and Black in turn behind Jordan Hodgson in the number 8 car as they come through the chicane and accelerate up that back straight towards Clark Corner. Everything looking pretty rosy right now for Wee Pat as everything happens just out of our sight there. And whoa, sideways. Oh, and sideways through Clarksford. Not just Hunter, but that looked like David Newell having a massive moment in the background there. That was Rally Dave. That was well held. As into the hairpin, everybody fans out. Possibly 3, maybe 4 wide on the brakes as we go in here. Jordan Hodgson on the high line there. And he's going to have to watch, doesn't get put in the gravel by Michael Paxton here. It wouldn't be deliberate, but up the main straight they all come as we now look back from Ivor Greenwood at the now empty track. You can see all the battling has really put a good bit of time between Greenwood and his pursuing pack, as Ivor now has eyes for the back of Wee Pat. And Patterson's going to see Ivor coming, and Ivor really is on a mission this year as up the inside. Good manoeuvre there. Ben Mason gets ahead of David Hunter as they go in towards turn 3, which is McIntyre's. Michael Paxton still hanging in there with the big guns, as everybody's calling him. Stephen McGill, one of the guys who is really enjoying his Legend racing this year, and says there's so many fast men out there. It really is a cracking championship to be involved in. And McGill, he's one of those big guns out there, still to win a race, and he will get that monkey off his back pretty shortly. He keeps talking about it. He's a fast enough man, and he's catching this group at the front. He started right at the very back as we see Ben Mason going up the inside over the apex curb and holding at bay David Hunter. Look at this, is that change of lead as we go over the crest of the hill. Wee Pat doesn't have much under the bonnet of that car for the number 37 car of Ivor Greenwood just now as they go into the top of Duffus. The fastest man on track just now after a couple of laps is Ivor Greenwood with a 59.0. Ivor done that in the second lap of the race. As we look down, there's 59.1 for Patterson, Hunter, Mason, Jordan Hodgson's in the 59s. 58 seconds for Jordan Hodgson on that last lap, actually. A 58.8. So a lot of quick cars. The top 11 all under the minute. In fact, further down in 15, Vincent under a minute as well. So a lot of quick people out there, and it's all packaging together nice and tightly at the front, and this is looking for a grandstand finish. Maybe not for first and second, but for the final step on the podium. It's going to turn out to be a bare-knuckle fist fight between everybody who wants that step as we come through the hairpin. We're looking back at Wee Pat, the reigning champion, from Ivor Greenwood as they come up the main straight to click off another lap. Then we've got this, Hunter, Mason, Paxton, Hodgson. We've got David Newell in the middle of that as well, trying to hold off Ryan McLeish, Pino Palazzo, Stephen McGill. And yeah, pick a podium, man. It will be pretty interesting to see how this unfolds. Stuart Black in the middle of it as well. Sorry, Stuart, we missed you out in that roll call there as everybody comes through turn 3 McIntyre's and plummets down through Butchers. And all the time they will be looking at these two guys stretching their legs at the front as they go in through Clark Corner. A little wobble from the camera there. And then we pick the next bunch of guys up. We look further back into the pack and we see 86 John Critchlow, and we did see John Bushby there, but then we didn't see John Bushby, and round John goes in a circle. So John does a little bit of manoeuvring at the exit of turn 3 McIntyre's, and he will get back on his merry way and enjoy the remainder of his laps, but he will be ruining that one as they come up towards the checker flag. It is going to be number 37, Ivor Greenwood, who wins from Wee Pat, number 1, and David Hunter will hold on to that third place from Mason, Hodgson, Paxton. The rest of them all come through with Stuart Black, David Newell, Ryan McLeish and Pino Palazzo rounds out the top 10. But that was so close for 3rd through to 10th. Absolutely nothing in it. Cracking stuff. Let's now hand down to the lovely Fiona Wallace with Ivor Greenwood.
Well done, Ivor. Race 1 win there. How was that for you?
That was very nice. Hard work from the back of the grid, but all drivers drove very well and stayed out of trouble, so it was an easy path to the front. And the car's working very well thanks to Burnett Motorsport, and of course my mechanic Willie's doing an amazing job. Without those people you can't get to the end of the race, and the car's doing the business.
You guys, you don't qualify, so just explain to the folks at home how it works for you.
Well, it's simple. The warm-up doesn't really count for anything. I was pole in the warm-up, but it doesn't mean anything. You draw a ball out of a hat, so if there's 20 drivers and you draw number 1, the next race you're going to start 20th. And then when they take those 2 races together, they add the points together, and the highest point scorer, unfortunately, starts at the very back.
So well done, David. P3 there. That was a classic legend race.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about, close racing. Like I said before, you shouldn't be winning races every heat, because with the mixed grids and reverse in heat 2, it should give everybody a chance, and I think that's what you're seeing now. The top 10 guys are on a similar pace, and it's close racing, it's good.
Were you trying to get your head down and move forward with not time to get the guy?
Well, that's what it used to be. You used to be able to just break away and chase who was in front of you, but like I say, with everybody on a similar pace, you've got to concentrate on the folk at front and at the back, so it keeps you busy, it keeps you on your toes.
And it makes some great racing as well.
Well, good. Well, I'm glad you enjoy it.
Oh no, it was really good to watch, and yeah, so hopefully we'll see you again on the podium.
Hopefully, thank you.
So let's now take a look at heat number 2 after seeing a fabulous heat number 1 there on pole position. He started at the back in the first one and he managed to get himself pretty much handily inside that top 10, did Steve McGill. He actually came home in 11th place, I'll correct myself there. But Steve McGill is on pole with Mark Beattie alongside him, John Bushby, Pino Palazzo. We then have got Ivor Greenwood. We're looking back at Duncan, Vincent on the right hand side there, and Ryan McLeish in the blue car on the left. So a lot of fast guys near the front as well. It was quite a good ball draw for the legends this time. It did split the pack up. It put fast people all the way through. So it's going to make it very interesting to see just how the racing goes for these guys. And as you can see though, the weather absolutely perfect here at Knockhill Racing Circuit. And what are they doing here? Well, they're trying to generate a little bit of heat through the brake and the tyre at the same time there, just to make sure when you do get your rolling start into turn 1, when you hit those brakes, they don't suddenly snatch and lock up a wheel, so you put grip into the tyres and heat into those tyres as everybody comes through Clark Corner for Legends heat number 2. Let's remind you of heat number 1. Ivor Greenwood took the victory from John Patterson and David Hunter. The fastest lap of the race actually went to number 60, Rally Dave. He done a 58.644 second lap around Knockhill. My goodness, that is absolutely flying. And one of these little legends, a 58-second lap. I don't think anybody would have thought that was possible a few years ago, but then we get a new resurface here, and racing drivers just love smoothness and grip. As we come through the hairpin, lights are off the John Clark BMW, and it will accelerate out from the hairpin and turn right down the top of the trowel. Then we'll have a controlled start by Stephen McGill on the front row of the grid. He will control the pace in that white car as everybody comes up towards the crest of the line, and then we'll hear the engines roar into life as those lights go out. And away we go as we come over the crest of the hill. Greenwood already pops out from Bushby. Bushby a little bit slack off the start there, and Ivor Greenwood's got a place up there. That's Pino Palazzo also trying to go around the outside. A little bit of jockeying for position. Ivor Greenwood just gets across the front of Duncan. Vincent going in towards McIntyre's there. That's Ryan McLeish dealing with Pino Palazzo. That's probably a good way of saying that, I should say. Dealing with them as they get towards the corner. But it's McGill who leads as they make their way up the back straight. We look further back down. That looks like Vincent pulling out from Palazzo. Palazzo had a bit of a wobble, and he gets that stuck in the Burnett number 7 car coming through the corner there. As we come through Clark's and head towards the hairpin. Stuart Black quite far down. Paxton also quite far down after his exploits in heat number 1. But in towards the hairpin we come, side by side for Ben Mason and Palazzo. Will Palazzo hold that on the inside? Yes, he will. Good manoeuvre there, holds off a very incoming Ben Mason, shall we say, as they make their way up the main straight. Side by side, Beattie and Greenwood. Greenwood's got just a little bit more under the bonnet on that legend. as he goes over the crest of the hill. Stephen McGill leads in towards Duffus from Ryan McLeish, and now Ivor Greenwood into that fine third place for Mark Beattie. Then Duncan Vincent in the next white car comes through. Somebody kicking up a bit of dust over the apex of Leslie's, and if you're kicking up the dust here, you're using a little bit more track than you possibly are allowed to. And was that half spin going out of our sight there? No, managed to hold that together, that's good. That was Kieran Beattie. As we go on board with Ivor Greenwood now tucked right up behind Ryan McLeish, just a little kiss off the sausage curb there, or the apex curb, not the sausage curb, and Ivor now starts to pick up a hole in the air, and look at that, Ryan McLeish tries to go past, and did he have to have a little feather out the throttle there? Possibly, yes. Ivor late on the brakes. Will he go round the exit of McLeish? Yes, he will. Stephen McGill will see him coming there, and good manoeuvre from Ivor. So Ivor Greenwood looking at making it 2-2. Duncan Vincent homing up on this pack as well, very, very quickly. Greenwood just mirror signal manoeuvre past Stephen McGill on the main straight, and here comes Ryan McLeish up the inside. McGill tries to cover, goes towards the middle of the track, almost 3 wide there, but not to be. Good move from McLeish. McGill gets caught a little bit of top sideways there. Vincent goes through at the bottom as well, so cracking manoeuvre, very opportunistic there from McLeish and Vincent. Steve McGill will come back from that one though, as we go down through Butchers and over the crest of the chicane. Dust in the background there at Butchers, and we lost somebody there. Not 100% sure who it was though, as through Clark Corner goes Ivor Greenwood, looking back at Ryan McLeish. A sideways Steve McGill, still holding on. Let's try and pick up where Dave Hunter is. There he's there, just ahead of Stuart Black and Michael Paxton also. We appear to have lost Duncan Vincent in that stramash somewhere down at Butchers, so the number 7 car has gone AWOL as David Newell tries to post the 60 up the inside of the 75, and that was never going to work. Palazzo did give him a nice bit of respectful racing room, and if anything though, compromised his exit, and Rally Dave says thank you very much, pulls out and accelerates up and past Palazzo on the main straight there, and that one is done and dusted by the time they get to the crest of the hill. There's Rally Dave, the white car bounces into view, using all the track and a little bit more as Palazzo comes up and say we've got a waved yellow flag there. You can't overtake under waved yellow flags, and there is a little bit of it going on. Ben Mason slides through there, so the stewards will have something to say on that one, I would believe. It looked like a yellow flag was being waved. It was pretty low, difficult to tell that one actually, so we'll need to let race direction deal with that. As through Clark Corner comes the Legend field. A good strong field, 19 cars in total this weekend, and Legends really has come back with a bit of a bang, and it's one of the most hotly contested classes in the Scottish Motor Racing Club's race day programme now. As up the main straight comes Ivor Greenwood. He pulls away from Ryan McLeish and Stephen McGill in a fine third place right now, side by side, Rally Dave and Mark Beattie on the inside there. Oh, who's that? That's Colm O'Sullivan, and is that John Bushby? Yes, it is. So O'Sullivan caught up in the wars at the hairpin again, and this time the luckless Bushby involved in that as well, and he drives away from it. Are those cars straight and pointing in the right direction? Well, John doesn't care, he's on the gas, he's away up the main straight. He'll soon find out when he tries to deal with the car at Duffus Dip. But look at this, Ryan McLeish now all over the back. Oh, bang, that was a big hit on Greenwood there, and you can see how big a hit that was. That bent the front bumper back. Now, that could actually start to impede Ryan's tyre. He's going to have to watch, because if Ryan tries to turn the other way, the steering might not turn because of that bumper, but quite a big hit on the back of Ivor Greenwood there. These bumpers don't bend very easily. As through into the lead goes Ryan McLeish as they leave the hairpin there. Up the main straight we go, and accelerating all the way up towards another lap. Thankfully O'Sullivan got away from that, and Ivor Greenwood seemed to lose an awful lot of time and speed there for some reason. Something pretty strange going on, and he's now dropped behind Stephen McGill. A good move by McGill on the main straight there. Nice and neat and tidy as ever in that number 15 car as he goes through the top of Duffus Dip and McIntyre's. So it's Ryan McLeish now who is at the front, and Ryan's got a decent enough little gap there that he can possibly feel quite comfortable with as he goes through the chicane. Everybody's going to really have to pick up their coattails and try and chase this young man down as we go up the back straight in towards Clark Corner. Further back down, John Patterson and Stuart Black a little bit out of position, but trying the old famous comeback. And look at this is a comeback for you. Greenwood pops out from the slipstream on McGill as he head towards the hairpin, and through he goes up the inside on the brakes. McGill makes that nice and simple for him. He doesn't put up too much of a fight. These guys are now back in a fight trying to catch up with that number 71 car at the front. Now, has McGill got anything under the hood of that Legend for the man in front of him? Because he's got right behind him Rally David Newell. Dave Newell in the number 60 car. And look at Greenwood. Holmes in on the slipstream up the inside on the brakes. It's a brave manoeuvre. He misses his apex by about a week, but he managed to get through, and Ryan McLeish goes off track there. Now, was he helped by Ivor, or just did he have nowhere left to go? That's possibly what happened as we come through past the stricken white car. That is Vincent's car in the gravel trap there, so something's going wrong with him as Greenwood, McGill, McLeish, Newell, Mason's coming forward as well, as is Dave Hunter and Jordan Hodgson. And side by side further down, Stuart Black just waltzes past John Patterson. So John Patterson not looking like he's fully up to speed on this one here, possibly dealing with a bit of a car issue that we don't know 100% about. As we come into the hairpin, McGill again tries to post his Legend up past Ivor Greenwood. He does do that. Ryan McLeish comes through on the inside, but he's had to pinch himself back on the inside there, and that will slow him down on the main straight. Look at that though, David Newell trying to be clever and opportunistic again, dives towards the inside of the corner, or the inside of the main straight to try and get the run. He doesn't want to compromise his run as Greenwood leads over the top of Duffy's Dip. Is what's happening behind them that we want to know about just now. Onto the brakes, Greenwood gets it slowed down, gets his apex perfect. McGill second, McLeish still third, and Newell fourth. So no real change on that, even though they were all jockeying about on the straight for position, and it looked like it was about to all change. But all the battling has let number 22, Ben Mason, catch right up, and Ben Mason's brought 6 and 8 with him. Dave Hunter and his Cresta teammate, number 8, Jordan Hodgson. So it really is looking pretty good for these guys just now as we head towards the hairpin. Up the inside of McGill goes McLeish, and can he stop it without using Ivor? He certainly can. Ivor a little bit wayward and wide there, leaves the door wide open for Ryan McLeish. Oh, Ryan McLeish gets a big help the back from McGill, and it's up to the checker flag as Greenwood, McLeish, McGill, your top 3, with David Newell coming home in 4th place. Rally Dave will be happy with that one. Dave Hunter and Jordan Hodgson 5th and 6th, with Pino Palazzo, Stuart Black, Mark Beattie and Michael Paxton rounds out the top 10 for the Burnett Motorsport crew. So some fabulous stuff. Let's hand back down to the lovely Fiona Wallace for some more post-race interviews with the guys.
Well done, Ivor. 2 out of 2, showing the young ones how it's done.
Yes, that was much harder work than the first one, and even though I started up near the front in that race, it was still the quick guys was there, like, and everybody's going real fast today. There's high barometric pressure, which is making these engines go fast today, so everybody's really on the top dollar price, like, so it's hard work to stay up there and stay in front of them. So at the end of the day, you just have to do what you do, and hopefully you get to the end in one piece.
The racing is really close today. Do you think you can get another win?
Well, I'll be giving it everything I can to try and do that. There's no doubt about it, but it'll be starting last now. Then this next race I'll have to start last, being the highest point scorer. But that's the way it is, so we'll see where that takes me.
So the final for the Legends. On track, the cars make their way in towards McIntyre's behind the pace car. Just now we're looking at number 7, Duncan Vincent, who's had a bit of a howler of a day. Finds himself starting on pole position. Alongside him, another man who's been in the wars pretty much from the get-go. The very likeable number 16, John Bushby. John, we saw him spinning in race number 1 at this corner, McIntyre's turn 3. And then also getting caught up with Colm O'Sullivan later on in heat number 2. So those guys will be looking to try and make amends. Number 30 up there also is Mark French. Mark's been battling all the way through the course of the weekend, and we've got to say he's new to Legends and he's keeping his nose clean, and that's really what you've got to try and do. You've got to just get through your first couple of meetings, try and get as much experience as you can, and you can make moves from there. Then we've got Kieran Beattie, we've also got John Critchlow, Billy Waite, Mark Beattie, Pino Palazzo, Michael Paxton, Stephen McGill. Then we get to the big hitters at the back, and that is one of them at the very back there. You see Ivor and also Stuart Black. What's wrong with Stuart Black there? He's playing about with something on the bonnet of his car, and he's way off the back of the pack. So Stuart Black, let's hope he can get that fixed, whatever he's doing, and make his way up. Anyway, Vincent controls this one in number 7 as they come up towards the lights. He's had a bad day. There was a spin in the first one when he was helped him for the hairpin, and then some mechanical issue in race number 2 as they get away from the start. He leads in towards Duffus Dip. Bushby defends from Beattie. Beattie goes up the inside though. It's a good manoeuvre, and the rest of the pack all stream through. Mark, oh yes it is, it's Mark Beattie facing the wrong way there. Now what happened there? There's a bit of a bottle jam. Oh, look at that, McLeish gets into the back of Hodgson. Hodgson completely out of no fault of his own there, goes straight into the back of Beattie and spins him round there. So a little bit of eagerness at the beginning causes a spin at turn 1. Vincent leads up the back straight from Beattie, from Bushby. And we've got Billy Waite and something happening behind Billy Waite there. The cars looked like they were going 3 abreast up that back straight. Through they come. Let's see what was going on further down. Stephen McGill, wasn't it? Yes, Stephen McGill and David Newell have really made up some great positions at the start there. Possibly helped by that spin, possibly not. These guys are really good at finding gaps in traffic that other guys can't see, as Billy Waite defends from Palazzo. Coming through the hairpin, everybody just trying to sort themselves out on this, the first lap. But Vincent leads over the crest of the hill, and on he goes towards Duffus Dip from Kieran Beattie. Let's hope the yellow flags have been pulled in from Duffus Dip, and Mark Beattie will be on his way again. Oh, he's on the inside. What is the disaster for him? Will they get that car fired up? Yes, they have. They've started it on the grass, so he's going to have to try and find a space in this pack of revved up legends. The final here at Knockhill today. Green flag at turn 3 there. That's a green flag get waved. That's good. The drivers will be looking for that because we had a few slaps in the wrist after race number 2. We should mention that just now. There was an exclusion. 2 cars excluded, 22 and 44. 22 was Ben Mason, 44 was Colin O'Sullivan. Yellow flag infringement for Ben Mason. He was picked up on that. And technical infringement for Colin O'Sullivan. So that was after heat number 2, but this is the legend final as we head towards hairpin. We see Duncan Vincent with a nice healthy lead just now over Kieran Beattie, and the rest of the pack now come in. Palazzo, McGill and Newell. McGill and Newell have made up some fabulous ground. They've made some big moves in the opening couple of laps, and they seem to be working as a bit of a team as Rally Dave now cuts towards the inside to try and get a drag past Steve McGill, but he doesn't have the horses under the bonnet, and that he tucks back in behind. And the rest of the pack all now coming up over the crest of the hill. Some of the big guys, big guns, still stuck back down, and thankfully Mark Beattie, number 85, has got on his way. As we see Vincent taking a few liberties with the track limits going through Leslie's there, and he's not the only one as they get onto the brakes for McIntyre's. Where is wee Pat, you're asking? Well, he didn't start the race. And that's Ryan McLeish. Ryan McLeish very far down, makes a manoeuvre up inside of Bushby, then drops a wheel into the gravel. John Bushby, ever the gentleman, just backs out the throttle that little bit, doesn't drive side by side through Butchers with that man, number 71. There goes Vincent, nice big healthy lead now. Kieran Beattie starting to get homed in on. The fast guys in the middle to the back of the pack have started to bridge the gap, and they're coming towards the end of this one. As we see the cars coming into the hairpin, there goes Vincent, and we look further back down. Then second, third, fourth and fifth all together. Palazzo has a big lunge up the inside. It's a good control, bit of braking there. He's up the inside. Beattie sees McGill coming in, almost makes enough room, but McGill just couldn't get that legend through that tiny little gap. As Michael Paxson now defends from David Hunter on the main straight. Hunter not hanging about as he goes up over the crest of the hill, and Hodgson and Greenwood together as we come in underneath the Beatson's Bond Supply Bridge. Will Ivor have a look up the inside? Yes, he does. Greenwood goes up the inside. That's a good manoeuvre done over the apex here. Ivor will be happy with that one as they now come through and in towards McIntyre. Greenwood heads towards the apex. Oh, contact! Hodgson drives straight into the back of Ivor Greenwood, and round goes Ivor Greenwood. And that was a bit of a mistake there. Easily done though, because when somebody defends from you in towards the corner like that, it's so easy for the car behind not to get stopped. And the luckless Jordan Hodgson drives into the luckless Ivor Greenwood, and Jordan looks like he had quite a bang into the rectisail air fence in there, as Vincent now has a 4.5-5 second lead at the front from the pursuing pack. In second place, Ben Mason on his way back up as well. And a great shame that we lost Jordan Hodgson there. He's a man who's shown some fabulous promise in this season at Knockhill. And look at this into the hairpin though. We've got Stephen McGill now trying to go around the outside. Will he make it move? Yes, he gets past Palazzo. It's a good move. So second place for McGill, third place for Palazzo. Now the safety car has come up. So are we going to get a safety car for this one? Is the Jordan Hodgson car deemed to be in not the greatest position? Well, if it's round the corner we'll find out. If it's head on, it's definitely not. As as in towards Duffus Dip we go with Michael Paxton, waved yellow flag, so no overtaking there. As we go through and in towards McIntyre's returning, and there's Hodgson's car there. Debatable. There's a big hole in the wreck to see Hodgson out of the car, standing on top of the tyre wall. As we go up the back straight. Oh, big spin there for Pino Palazzo. Just drops a wheel over the end of the curb there and up the back straight in front of the Marshall sat. And look at that. The speed that Vincent's going, that looks like the safety car is out. So it has been deployed. So there goes your 4.5, 5 second lead at the front. And here come the big guns rolling up behind them now. So this could be pretty interesting for the remainder of this one, as the BMW accelerates away from the top of the trioval. Now all these drivers wearing the Raceiver kit, so race control will tell all the drivers through their headsets that the safety car is on track, so nobody will ever miss it. There shouldn't be any crashing under any safety cars either. The Raceiver really is a pretty great bit of kit, and in the right hands in race direction you can tell the drivers all the necessary information that they need. Like safety car lights are off, so as we go through Clarkson you can see the safety car lights are off. Duncan Vincent leads Stephen McGill, David Newell, David Hunter, Kieran Beattie, Michael Paxton, and the rest of the axe murdering grid follow him towards the hairpin. Turns it in through the hairpin. When's Vincent going to go? He drops it at the apex hairpin, gets a good drive through the hairpin, but McGill gets just as equal a drive. All these legend guys, they know how to do restarts as we come up the main straight. McGill right tucked in the slipstream as they go over the crest off the hill. Will he make a manoeuvre in towards the first corner? Has he got enough speed in that car? As we quickly change camera view, yes he is, they're side by side over the crest of the hill though. McGill doesn't get through just there this time, and Rally Dave tries to go round outside of him as Vincent still holds that position as they go through McIntyre's turn 3 down the dip and up towards the chicane. Big snake of legends coming through there and then climbing the back straight up towards Clark's. Vincent starting to get a little bit of a gap between himself and the guys behind them. He'll be happy with that one after losing that big healthy lead which he did have. As we come through Clark corner now, number 7, 15 and then 60. Oh, Vincent's wide, he's in the gravel. He's going to pay the price for that one as they go towards the hairpin. That will kill his momentum. And I have Greenwood all the way back down in the pack as well. McGill on the brakes, homing in all over the back of the number 7 car. Back to the apex, and here comes Rally Dave as well as we come up the main straight now. What's McGill going to do this time? Gets in the slipstream, pulls out alongside him. And it looks like it's going to be a mirror signal manoeuvre for Stephen McGill if he can make that one stick as they go over the crest of the hill. John Bushby goes through as well, and yeah, McGill makes a good manoeuvre. Vincent's trying to go back round outside of him. McGill cuts back to the inside. Vincent touches the grass. No, he hits the back of McGill. Round he goes. Oh, and Dave Hunter's involved in it as well. Oh dear, it's all gone horribly wrong in the Legends final there. Vincent collects it back off Stephen McGill. No fault of McGill there whatsoever. Away goes David Hunter, caught up in that as well, and not the greatest of replays we get from it there, but it just goes horribly wrong. And David Newell though does get away with that. Look at Rally Dave in the white car, threads the needle through that kind of stramash, we could say there, and comes away in the lead from Ben Mason, Kieran Beattie and Ryan McLeish. So thankfully David Hunter did get going from that for his championship points perspective as he heads towards the hairpin, but the luckless Stephen McGill out of this one by the looks of thing, and Vincent also marooned in the gravel trap at the hairpin at McIntyre. So what a disaster. The safety car's pulled awful far up there. I don't like the look of that. Are we going to have yet another safety car for this Legends final? And this being the last race of the day as well for the Super Touring Car Festival. As we come in towards turn 3, there should be a lot of waved yellow flags here. Oh yeah, Stephen McGill, he's going to be going nowhere, and his car's in a horrible place here as Kieran Beattie done the most maverick style of driving I've seen past the crash car in a long time. And there goes Vincent. He's managed to get out from the gravel trap and heads round on a half trailing throttle, it would seem there. Run out of talent going in towards McIntyre's, unfortunately collected the back of the leader. Never the best thing. They were both heading for the inside of the track, just touched the wheel on the grass. As soon as you do that, there's no stopping your car, and unfortunately drove straight into the back of the luckless Stephen McGill, who then spun and was kind of collected by David Hunter as well. So David Newell comes through under waved yellow flags under a safety car, and he leads from Ben Mason and Ryan McLeish as we make our way up the main straight. Let's see how long it takes him to clear up that disaster down there at turn 3. Michael Paxton's had a good weekend on car number 5. He will be very happy with how things have gone for him as the safety car lights stay on, and this possibly could have an ominous feel about it. We might end this race under a caution. As they say in NASCAR, this could end under yellows, and if that does, that would be a great shame, but it would be a delight for David Newell, because he got himself to the front of that little pack there. And yes, checker flag comes out. David Newell does take it from Ben Mason and Ryan McLeish, with Michael Paxton getting a career best in 4th place in his Burnett car. Colin O'Sullivan likewise in 5th. Ivor Greenwood 6th. Black Palazzo. Great result for John Critchlow as well in 9th. He'll be absolutely over the moon with that. And Billy Waite comes home in 10th place.
Well done, David. P1, quite a calm finish to the race.
Yeah, finishing under the safety car. To be honest, it kind of takes a little bit of enjoyment out of it. You want to obviously race to the finish, but sometimes in racing that's what happens. There's plenty coming together with our cars there. Obviously I took advantage of the situation, started near the back in that one, so to come away with the win, yeah, happy.
Good. And what are your thoughts on the next round?
To be honest, I'm here to race. I mean, you know, we're doing okay in the championship to start with, but that kind of fell by the wayside. We've had a lot of mechanical issues that we've managed to hopefully solve now. So yeah, I'm just here to enjoy the racing. The guys in front are all battling, as you can see from on track. It's you know, the tempers are a bit high, but I'll just look forward to the next race, and I'll just get my head down and race as normal.
Good. Well, hopefully next time you'll actually finish the race with a checkered flag and not the safety car in front of you.
Absolutely, yeah, that'd be good.